Today's Daily Dose of Math is an example of converting general to standard form with a quadratic equation. This is example 3, and now we've moved on to the more complicated types of trinomial that we have to do this with. What's making it more complicated is that the numerical coefficient of x squared is not 1. This time it's 2. This causes us to have a couple of extra steps to do. The first step should look familiar though. We put the first two terms inside a bracket and leave a space for a third term, but we keep the constant term outside of the bracket. But now we have to do something new. We have to factor that 2 out of the terms that are inside of the bracket. So we're dividing both of those terms by 2. Outside of the bracket we now write a 2, and inside we only have x squared minus 2x. We still want to figure out what number needs to go into that position that I'm showing with the question mark. And we use the same trick as with the less complicated examples to do that. The numerical coefficient of the x term is now negative 2. Half of negative 2 is negative 1, and negative 1 squared is 1. We cut that term in half and we square the result. That is the number that we have to add into that position. So now we have the trinomial x squared minus 2x plus 1, which is a perfect square trinomial. But because we added a 1 over here, that means we have to balance it off over there. And this step is also a little different because we have to realize we didn't really add a 1 here. We added a 2 because of this 2 outside of the bracket, which means we have to subtract a 2 somewhere else. That's why I'm writing minus 2 here in this question mark position. Now we can simplify our final expression. We factor the trinomial. It's a perfect square trinomial, so we can factor it easily. If we wish, we use the simple trinomial technique, and we end up with x minus 1 and x minus 1 as the factors. At the same time, we also combine our similar terms. We have the plus 5 that we always had, and we have the minus 2 that we've now inserted. The final answer is this, y equals 2, x minus 1 in brackets squared plus 3. Remember, there's a bit of a shortcut for figuring out the factors that you need over here. The minus 1 that we've calculated earlier is exactly the term that we need to put inside the bracket. We have now converted the most complicated type of general form quadratic equation into standard form. That is today's Daily Dose of Math. Please like, subscribe, and share.